Hey everybody, I'm Brent, Nick,
I'm Nick,
Josh, Aaron, 8 Graves, Saint Slumber combination commentary today
Here we are, combo.
for the song we did together called Guillotine. Welcome.
welcome guys.
So we're going to talk a little bit about it. I guess this one's probably going to be a little longer because there's more of us and we have more things to say.
Very long form.
Yes.
So stay tuned. But Josh, you're the one who came to me with the song idea, so why don't you start what inspired you to write about it?
Yeah, well, whether or not you may be aware of it, this year's been a real rough one. Things have been a little weird. It really started with the Armageddon chat.
Yeah, the group chat.
The last thing any of us did before lockdown happened and pandemic happened was we were on tour together.
Yeah.
And the second we got home, everything shut down. So that's when we started the Armageddon chat. So we've literally been talking every day for the past
It's been building.
year. Yeah. And just like throughout the year, like things were just getting worse and worse. And we were always kind of talking about just how frustrating it was and how frustrated everyone was.
Yeah, it seems like there was like a new thing like every couple days, like, cool, now this is happening.
Right. And whether it was like an economic thing, you know, when they were like goofing with the stock market, all the insider trading happened right before the pandemic. That was the first thing. All the, you know, racial injustice that's been happening. So through our conversation, Brent and I would just continually bring up the concept of the guillotine, usually like sarcastic.
It's kind of my joke.
Yeah, the go-to joke was like any minute now they're going to start rolling them up, you know? So once January 6th of 2021 happened, which was the riots on Capitol Hill, that's when this song finally just like came into fruition.
Yeah, I feel like that was like the exploding point of like, okay, like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, like, it was the same thing. I felt so much watching that. And we've had the, you know, full disclosure, we've already had the blurbs up about, you know, like my blurb about what I felt about writing the song. We've already gotten some people comparing it to other things that have happened in America. Well, you know, you didn't get mad and write a song after, like, Black Lives Matter burned down that Wendy's or, like, you know, whatever. And I appreciate those people for kind of pushing back and offering their perspective on it too. And I've had really, really constructive conversations with some of the people in the comment sections of these things. But to me, the big difference about what happened at Capitol Hill was like, yo, this is about something that's not even real. Right? Like this is like this is the Stop the Steal rally. Like, yeah, that didn't even happen, dude. And you beat a police officer to death with, you know, so for something that didn't even happen. It's just really, so that to me was like the exploding point of like, wow, stuff is like this has gone beyond, you know, what this is just so nuts.
So that's why settling in a different way when it's other Americans, you know, it's like somebody's neighbor, you know, it's like, it's happening at home, you know, so it hits you different.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And especially like, you know, what I take away from all of it and, you know, what I'm trying to make this song more about, because of course, anything that's even remotely political, people are going to try to make a right and a left thing.
Yeah, you try to claim it.
And for me, it's more about, you know, the reason the guillotine is symbolic and the reason I bring it up a lot is because it's about holding leadership accountable, right? Like to me, whether you were a Trump supporter or whether you were a Biden supporter, if you're left, if you're right, if you're a self-proclaimed socialist like I am, or if you're no matter what you are, at the end of the day, we have to recognize that like we are having a complete and utter failure of leadership, and it's creating. People are just so desperate and so angry about so much that's going on, and I think that half of the stuff that we're seeing happen is like not even about what's happening, right? Like I don't think Stop the Steal is because I don't even know if these people all believe that there's really a stolen election. I just think that they're so mad and they feel so ignored and so desperate that they just need something to lash out at.
And part of the issue is that, and this is what we like tried to write the lyrics about, is like you can look at any one specific instance throughout the year and talk about like why it's like a huge problem, but the nature of all of these issues is that like there is no more objective standard for truth. There's no more objective standard for morality. And everybody is completely convinced that their brand of truth and their brand of morality is the baseline.
Is the one,
and you have these two groups of people who are vilifying each other and using violence. People like they rolled up to Capitol Hill with a gallows.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But then Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell will be in Capitol Hill fist bumping each other. You know,
Right.
like it's like that's what really strikes me.
Right.
Is like they're motivating regular people
right.
to violence and
There's
to
a-
put their lives
yeah.
on the line. Like that young woman who was killed at the Capitol, like, you know, she was motivated to do that by a lie, you know, and I feel terrible that she, that happened to her because she had faith in an institution that has absolutely no care for her whatsoever.
Right. So, everybody is completely convinced that, their war is a righteous one.
Yeah.
And if we don't figure out a way to step back, like the increasing calls for violence, the increasing calls for vilifying people that don't agree with you, it is going to continue to result in violence.
And get worse.
Yeah, it is just going to escalate. And, it's a good thing that they're holding the people accountable that actually stormed the place. But at the end of the day, it's like the battle we're fighting here isn't like even a political one. This is like one of like philosophy. Like we have philosophical differences, like axiomatic differences between groups. And it's like, if we can't figure that out, if the internet doesn't keep cleaving us apart in that way, it's going to just continue to result in more violence.
That's why I think when we were writing together, and the first line of the first verse is that feast in the highs, feed on the lows, and I think that's what we continue to see. Right? Is there's rich and powerful people, there's political elites, there's billionaires. They will continue to sell a message that we are all each other's problems. Hell is other people, right?
Yeah.
L'enfer c'est les autres, right? That's what we were posting about it. That's the French quote. Hell is the others, right? Hell is other people.
Yeah.
As long as they convince us that we all have to fight each other, we ain't gonna do anything about these people. We're like laughing all the way to the bank, and they don't care. They watch people. They lie and watch people get murdered over it, and then have a session of Congress later where they're high-fiving and shaking hands. They don't care, and that's why. That was really what Guillotine was about for me. But, that's what the symbol is, as much as it seems like a call to violence, it's more a symbolic of like, that revolution that needs to happen where people are going to have to band together and stop looking at each other, stop looking like Aaron said, like stop looking at your neighbor like, some type of way.
That's the enemy.
And start looking at who's pulling the strings of all this stuff.
That's why there's a fear of loving to see a guillotine. You know what I mean? You don't want to be angry towards your neighbor. You don't want to look at a specific group of people in America and be like angry. You don't
want to celebrate violence. Yeah, that's not the place you want to be in.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think that was a good. That's why I like that you wrote the lyric that way. I'm scared that I want to see a guillotine because. I think it's funny. I've always been a little bit more angry. I think you can attest to that.
Oh yeah.
I'm always like, screw all this, burn it down. Right? Like I'm always that way. And it's in the time that we've known each other, you've always been like, relax, this is normal and this stuff happens, right? And I feel like
the yin and yang,
I was like over this 4 years particularly, that you've gotten more to like, all right, dude, like, come on, man. Like, you've always been the person that's talking me off the ledge.
Yeah, and there's a place obviously for the frustration. But like when we wrote it, you and I, like the first thing we did, we talked about like, okay, look, where are we trying to get across? How are we trying to get at this? Yeah. And we wanted to be at a place where it's like, there is violence happening. We don't want to glorify it or even want it, but then we talked about how like the guillotine originally was a symbol of justice for the people.
Sure.
And there's the duality of it was a symbol of oppression from the government. So it's like even this symbol itself is just like kind of rife. Yeah. So it's like trying to play with that and try to like explore violence in that way, explore frustration in that way.
Sure.
So I'm happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, me too. And important in all of this, as you step into the realm of doing something political, which is not super regular for us. We did it a little with Cold World, right? Like, I think that was more worldview than it was really like political.
Right.
That's more about like, money ruling everything and whatever else. But important in all of this, and some of the conversations I've had with people in the comment sections of some of the stuff we posted preparing for this song, is that we always will welcome conversation. And we will always welcome people no matter what their viewpoint may be. Obviously, there's going to be people who strongly disagree with the way that I feel. And that doesn't change the fact that I have love and respect and admiration and gratitude towards the people that have supported us and people that are open to having that conversation are so valuable. And, I just hope that anybody who's seeing this knows, because there's a lot of that. I see a lot of that, like, if you don't agree with me, don't listen to my music and don't, right? Like, I never want to be that guy. Right. I always want to be in a position where, first and foremost, if you're somebody who's supporting us, I love you. And I always want to operate from that place. And, I want the song to be more about recognizing I don't want the people that stormed the Capitol to get the guillotine.
Right.
I want the people in charge, and again, I don't even want the people in charge to get the guillotine, right?
The metaphorical
the
guillotine.
metaphorical guillotine, the cutting them off, the ending of their like kind of reign of disinformation is aimed at the people who motivated these people to put their lives on the line and suffer those consequences for their own personal and political gain.
Yeah.
And that's really what, the focus of this is about. It's not about me hating anybody else.
Right.
Right? It's
I
about
feel
hating
like there's definitely like a uniting quality to these lyrics because it's not aimed at any specific group or political group of people or
Yeah.
anything. I feel like everything that's being complained about or lamented about in the song is issues that everybody
affects.
Yes.
everybody
100%.
wanting an end to all of it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We're all feeling it.
Yeah.
And danger.
Yeah, I mean, I really just want to talk about, I mean, you guys did a great job of talking about like how you came up with the song.
Yeah.
I just like being, in my role, the inception of the song. Josh, you called me up one day. I was like, hey, I wrote a song and I really think it's like 8 Graves and Saint Slumber.
Yeah.
And you told me what it was about. I was like, dude, call Brent. He's going to fucking love this. Just show it to him. And I was like, please, Brent, please let us do it. And we did it. And I'm just really happy. And, the message is just amazing. And, I'm learning more about the lyrics now sitting here, So it's great,
No, and that's what's important is not only are we sending a message about unifying something, right? Like we came together to do it.
Yeah.
And although we have somewhat similar views, I think everyone will probably agree that I'm probably the most radical, right? Like
Got the big thoughts.
I'm
yeah.
so lefty, right? Like I'm like super, like I'm so left, I don't even think I'm left.
Right.
I don't even know why you're sitting in the middle right now.
I've like got to be sitting like in the field outside. So, we don't always see everything the same way, but we did feel that sadness and that anger about the fact that like, wow, these people have done such a poor job of leading folks and such a good job of deceiving them that they've pushed people to this. And again, it's not just about Capitol Hill. It's about what we've seen with the Black Lives Matter movement and how ignored, people involved in that movement have felt and how they haven't had their voices heard. It's about watching people in lines at food banks during a pandemic while every other country in the world is providing for its people and our country can't seem to send people more than $2,000 or blah, 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 blah. They can't even agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Like people are suffering and starving and there's just been, emotionally, physically, financially, and there just has been just an absence of any relief for folks. And that's why our leaders are there.
Right.
And if they can't do that, then they have to get the metaphorical guillotine.
Metaphorical.
Don't kill anybody, people.
Metaphorical.
Okay, so
Yeah, but
just have to put the disclaimer.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone dead. I don't,
Yeah.
because that's how everyone's going to take it. Oh, you preach acceptance, but you want to kill people. Like that's
metaphorical.
not how it's going to go. Metaphorical guillotine.
But yeah, I mean, this was such an easy song to do. We got it done in a matter of days.
Yeah.
And it really is because we have been going through the year together. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's like a collab of 2 bands, but it's like, you guys are my best friends. So
Yeah.
it's just
We
very
talk,
easy.
like, every day.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
talking every day anyway, so it's just
We
very
didn't
easy.
have to get on the emotional same page. You're
Yeah,
already there.
we didn't send an email. We're just like, let's just do this.
So anyway, this is super long.
Yeah.
Dave is also a part of this group chat, and now he's got to deal with editing our long form video. That's going to make no sense. So thank you, Dave.
Appreciate you, Dave.
But another person who understands this is cool too. Dave shooting the video is part of that group chat.
Yeah, it's all
so
family.
He sees how we're talking every day. So
Yeah.
this whole thing is very personal, and we're all invested in it. So I hope you guys hear that, and I hope it comes across in the song. I hope you enjoy it. And again, I hope that if you do disagree with anything that we've said, you feel comfortable to discuss it, and know that we will always come at you from a place of an attempt to understand, even if we can't necessarily, in a place of acceptance and a place of love, because we do love all you guys, and that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
Sure.
So listen, enjoy, and
Stay safe.
stay safe. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.